Minister, I too have huge concerns, and in Carlow at the moment in the system there's 438 flagged for documents that the applicant has to submit. Now that's only Carlow itself, and with that is the timescale, because you could be waiting weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to get word from the passport office that your documents are not fully completed. It's really unacceptable, and I don't mean to be criticising the passport office, but we knew this was going to happen, and the staff I know are overworked because the phone, in fairness, you're waiting so long to get to the phone, it just isn't acceptable at this stage. I know for one, this week alone, I have one family didn't make it on holidays because they hadn't got a passport. I have another case where some family members went, others didn't. But the big question I want to ask you was, there was plans to establish a service in January in 2022 with an online portal that will allow queries for all application types to be submitted directly to the Passport Service by Oireachtas members to provide additional assistance to those citizens. What is the update on that?
Right.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
a lot of very fair questions. Let me just try and move through them quickly if I can. First of all, there was never a suggestion of an Oireachtas or a system for Oireachtas members where they could apply for passports on behalf of the public. We can't turn we can't turn TD's offices into passports. But on information, what we do have, Deputy, is we have an Oireachtas phone line that handles queries. It's not perfect, but so far this year there's been over 10,000 calls taken so far this year on that. And in terms of the customer service hub, that's handled 95,000 queries this year. So it's really busy. Sometimes there are interruptions in the system, as there has been in the last number of days. And when that happens and the public can't get through on the call lines, then they start going to their TDs, understandably, because they need to find out what's happening with their passports. So we're trying to obviously keep that to a minimum where possible. But just on the question, I think there is an issue that we need to improve on in terms of the verification process between the Passport Office and Garda stations. It is an issue, particularly in rural communities where there are Garda stations that aren't open for very many hours in a day. And that's an issue that actually we've had a discussion in the department on today, because a number of people have seen issues there. But can I just emphasise, we're not doing this for the sake of it. There is a fraud issue in relation to passports. There are risks around child abduction. We have to make sure that when we issue a passport for a child, that actually we know who the parents are and we have verification of that from the Gardaí. It's really important. And particularly when the passport system is under pressure, that is when there will be fraud and criminal activity trying to get passports inappropriately. Now, we have a really good anti-fraud system, but it does take time and there is verification necessary. The other final point that I could make, which is this issue around when parents correct applications when there's been a mistake, and about 43% of the first-time applications for children that are stuck in the system are because we're awaiting documentation. We have given a commitment that when the documentation is corrected, we will then fast-track those applications and get them finalised within 15 days. Because previously, the frustration for parents was that the clock started all over again, if you like, when they made the correction.
Thank you very much,
we are
Minister.
trying to respond to people's genuine queries.
That concludes questions to